This flying scooter is not just about taking off from the ground. It also has special features that could completely change the way people get to work or school each day. The Cyberfold scooter represents a big change in how we think about travel. It combines the power and ability of a flying vehicle with the ease and portability of a regular scooter. Because it can take off and land vertically, it's perfect for moving through crowded cities. While regular cars and scooters are stuck in traffic, this flying scooter can simply rise above the mess and get people where they're going much faster. That makes it a useful and trustworthy choice for city travel, especially in places where traffic is a daily problem. This scooter is also made to be very small and easy to carry or fold up, which is something regular electric scooters don't offer to the same level. The Cyberfold can go as far as 150 kilometers on a single charge. This means city commuters who travel a lot during the day don't have to worry about the battery running out. They can go about their day without thinking about finding a place to recharge all the time. Because it folds, it's easy to store at home, even in small apartments, and you can carry it on public transportation if needed. It's perfect for people who live in tight spaces and need something flexible and easy to manage. Even though it's small and portable, the Cyberfold is also strong and comfortable. It has off-road tires and a smart suspension system that helps it ride smoothly even on bumpy or rough roads. It also has a cooling system that keeps it from overheating, even when used for long trips or in hard conditions. All of these features make the Cyberfold not just a cool idea, but something people can really use every day. It takes the good parts of both regular scooters and flying machines and puts them together in one easy-to-use product. By making flying scooters cheaper and easier to carry, BYD is helping to create a future where flying through the city becomes a normal part of life. The Cyberfold shows that it's possible to make something futuristic, but also practical and ready for daily use. The battery inside the Cyberfold is one of the most important parts of why it works so well. It uses a powerful lithium-ion battery made by Samsung. The battery is 72 volts and 60 ampere-hours, giving the scooter the ability to travel up to 150 kilometers on one charge. This makes it a good choice for people who need to travel long distances every day, and it provides a clean, electric-powered alternative to cars and motorbikes. The battery has a total energy capacity of 4.3 kilowatt-hours, which means it gives strong performance while staying practical and useful. You don't have to stop and recharge it all the time, so it fits easily into your daily routine. One of the big problems with electric vehicles is overheating. If the battery gets too hot, it can break down or even become dangerous. The Cyberfold avoids this by using a very smart cooling system. It mixes air and liquid cooling to keep the battery at just the right temperature. This helps the scooter last longer and work better, even when used a lot or ridden over long distances. A cooling system like this is necessary for something that uses so much energy, and it makes sure the scooter is always safe and ready to go. The Cyberfold also includes something called a battery management system, or BMS. This system watches over how the battery charges and discharges, so it never gets overcharged or drained too much. That helps the battery last longer and keeps the scooter running safely. The BMS is especially important because high-powered batteries can be dangerous if not managed correctly. With this system in place, riders can feel more confident knowing that their scooter is safe and dependable. This is one more reason why the Cyberfold is a smart and well-designed machine. All of these battery features add up to a scooter that is powerful, efficient, and built to last. Samsung's advanced battery cells, combined with cooling and management systems, make the Cyberfold a top choice for future transportation. It's not just another electric scooter, it's a flying vehicle that offers everything people need in a modern city. This kind of battery technology could become the new standard for flying vehicles, and the Cyberfold is the first step toward that future. One of the most amazing things about the Cyberfold is its price. It costs only $2,000, which is very low for something that can fly. In the past, flying cars and personal drones have cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, which made them impossible for regular people to afford. But now the Cyberfold offers many of the same features, like vertical takeoff and landing, dual motors, and long range, for a price that everyday people can consider. This changes everything. It means that flying to work or school might not just be a dream for the rich. It could become part of daily life for millions of people, all thanks to this affordable and exciting new scooter. When we look at other personal flying vehicles like the Jetson one, which costs nearly $100,000, the price of the Cyberfold flying scooter feels like a huge breakthrough. It is not just a cheaper version. It changes everything. At just $2,000, it opens the door to many more people who could never afford a flying vehicle before. This low price means flying scooters are no longer only for rich people. Now, middle-class people living in cities might finally get the chance to try out this new way of getting around. It's a big step toward giving everyone access to the future of transportation, not just a few. This price drop is important for more than just individuals. It also has a big impact on how cities will be planned in the future. If many people start using personal flying vehicles like the Cyberfold, cities will need to make changes. There will need to be new rules, places to land, and systems to manage the air traffic. Just like roads, cities might have to build small airports or special landing spots called vertiports where people can take off and land safely. New laws and city designs will be needed to make sure this new kind of travel works smoothly. The affordable price of the Cyberfold might also help speed up how quickly people accept flying scooters as part of daily life. If more people start using them, this could push others to do the same. Soon, flying through the air to work or school could become normal. This new way of commuting might even change how people build homes, offices, and shops, since they'll be thinking about how to fit flying vehicles into everyday spaces. That $2,000 price tag does more than offer a good deal. It helps change how we think about personal transportation. In the past, cutting-edge technology like this was something only the wealthy could afford. But now more people, especially those living in crowded cities, might be able to take part in this new kind of movement. Lowering the cost means millions of people could use this kind of vehicle. That opens the door for more changes, more new ideas, and more improvements in how we all get from one place to another. As we go from being stuck in traffic to lifting off into the sky, the Cyberfold is leading the way. It's not just a small scooter with fancy parts. It is a sign that personal flight might finally be here. Old ways of getting around like bikes, buses, or cars all depend on roads. The Cyberfold breaks free from that. It lifts up into the air and lets people skip past traffic. It helps people avoid crowded roads and gives them a faster, easier way to move through the city. It's not just about getting away from traffic either. The Cyberfold offers features that regular scooters can't compete with. It has two strong 4,000-watt motors and a powerful battery that lets you travel up to 150 kilometers on one charge. You can even go up to 60 miles per hour. That's fast enough not just for getting around the city, but even for going to nearby towns or suburbs. So it's not just a toy or a short-distance scooter. It's something you can actually use every day. One of the best things about the Cyberfold is how easy it is to carry around. Unlike regular scooters or e-bikes that take up space and need to be parked somewhere, the Cyberfold folds into a small, easy-to-carry shape. That means you can bring it into your apartment, tuck it under your desk, or carry it onto a train or bus. This makes it perfect for people living in cities where space is tight and secure parking is hard to find. Its small size makes it part of your life, not just a thing you have to manage. Because it's so affordable and useful, the Cyberfold feels like a preview of what's coming in the future. We are entering a new time when flying vehicles are not just science fiction. They're something you can actually buy. This is the start of a future where people don't just use roads. They use the skies too. It's not just about this one scooter. It's about a bigger change, a move toward flying vehicles that help us escape the limits of normal travel. The Cyberfold isn't just another product. It's a sign that a big change in personal transportation is starting to happen. But as more people start flying around cities, new problems will need to be solved. What will cities do when the air is full of small flying vehicles? What kinds of new systems and laws will we need to make sure everything runs safely? The rise of personal flying vehicles like the Cyberfold will have a big effect on how cities are built and how they work. These vehicles are different because they take off and land straight up and down. That means people can skip traffic and fly over busy roads. Studies show that flying through the air could cut commute times by up to 60%, especially during busy hours. Less traffic on roads also means fewer cars, which could help reduce pollution and stress in cities. But with all these benefits come new problems for people who design cities. Right now, cities are built for cars, buses, and trains, not flying vehicles. If more people start using flying scooters, cities will need to add special areas where they can take off and land. They'll also need systems to manage all the flying vehicles and make sure they don't crash into each other. Rules will need to be made to show how these flying scooters should work with regular transportation like roads, crosswalks, and train stations. City governments will need to rethink many of their old laws and systems. They'll need to change zoning laws so that buildings and neighborhoods can work with this new kind of transport. They'll have to make rules about how high and where these scooters can fly. Even things like insurance rules might need to change to cover new risks. All of this will take time, planning, and money. There are also environmental concerns to think about. Even though the Cyberfold uses electricity and not gasoline, it still takes a lot of power to fly. If too many people start using flying scooters, this could put pressure on city power supplies. Cities might need to upgrade their electric grids to keep up with demand. Another concern is noise. With hundreds of flying scooters in the air, the constant buzzing sound could become a problem. People living near the flight paths might get annoyed or lose sleep. That's why it's important for companies to work on making flying scooters quieter. Cities might also need to make new rules to control the noise and make sure it doesn't affect people's quality of life. In the end, the arrival of the Cyberfold is an exciting moment for how we move around cities. But it's not just about flying scooters, it's about how cities change to fit new technologies. Governments and city planners will have to think ahead and make smart choices. If they do it right, they can create cities that are cleaner, faster, and better to live in. Urban travel might finally be ready to take off, literally. But it will take good planning and smart design to make sure that this future in the sky works well for everyone. The Cyberfold flying scooter is a very different kind of vehicle. It can take off and land straight up and down, like a helicopter. It also has 2 motors, which help it move both on the ground and in the air. Because of this, it doesn't fit neatly into any one category. It's not just a car, not just a bike, and not quite a plane either. That makes it hard to figure out what kind of rules should apply to it. Normally, cars and bikes have to follow road traffic laws. Airplanes and helicopters must follow aviation laws. But the Cyberfold is a mix of both, which creates confusion. In the United States, the FAA, Federal Aviation Administration, makes the rules for anything that flies in the air. But since the Cyberfold flies low and doesn't go very fast or very high, it might not meet the normal rules for aircraft. At the same time, it can drive on roads too, but it doesn't fit into the same category as regular road vehicles either. Because of this, it sits in a legal gray area. That means the law doesn't clearly say what it is or how it should be used. This makes things difficult for people who want to buy or use it. In other parts of the world, such as Japan, governments are starting to create new rules for this kind of flying vehicle. Japan is working on laws to help promote low-flying personal vehicles. This will help people use these new vehicles in cities without breaking the law. But most countries haven't done this yet. That means it might be hard for companies to sell the Cyberfold in other places. Until laws are changed or new ones are created, flying scooters like the Cyberfold will be stuck in a kind of legal trap. They can't be used easily or safely on a large scale until those laws catch up with the new technology. If we want people to use flying scooters in real life, we need rules that keep everyone safe and make things clear. These rules should explain who can use these vehicles, where they can fly, and what safety steps they must follow. We also need rules about how to manage the airspace, so flying scooters don't crash into each other or get in the way of planes. It's important that the new laws match the reality of what these vehicles can do. Technology is changing fast, and the law needs to keep up so we can make the most of it. The Cyberfold flying scooter is already showing how useful it can be in daily life. It is especially helpful in cities where there is a lot of traffic. Because it can take off and land vertically, it doesn't need a runway or special takeoff space. That means people can skip long traffic jams and get to work faster. In big cities, traffic can be a huge problem, and public transportation doesn't always reach every area. The Cyberfold helps solve this problem by giving people a new way to travel that avoids crowded streets. People who live in cities with heavy traffic are starting to see the Cyberfold as a great way to save time. It can travel as far as 150 kilometers on one charge, which is a long distance for a personal scooter. That makes it useful not just for going to work, but also for going on fun weekend trips. People are using it to go to places like beaches, parks, and hiking trails. These are places where regular cars might not be able to go easily. With the Cyberfold, people can go on these short trips without worrying about running out of power. The Cyberfold is also helping with what is called the last mile problem. This happens when someone takes a bus or train, but the stop is still far from their home or office. Normally, people have to walk the rest of the way. But with the Cyberfold, they can unfold the scooter and ride the final distance easily. It makes the whole trip smoother and faster. Because of this, the Cyberfold is becoming an important part of what's called a multimodal transportation system. That means people can mix different types of travel, like trains, buses, and scooters, to get where they need to go without needing a car. More people are starting to use flying scooters like the Cyberfold every day. This is putting pressure on cities to change the way they design their transportation systems. City planners now have to think about how to include these new vehicles. Just like bicycles and electric scooters changed the way people moved around cities in the past, flying scooters are now doing the same. They represent a big change, one where flying becomes normal, not just something we see in science fiction. David Zipper, a transportation expert, says we are entering a new phase in city travel. He believes that soon, flying will be something regular people do every day. Flying vehicles won't just be for airplanes anymore. They'll be for workers, students, and everyone in between. NASA also studied personal air mobility and found that it could reduce traffic jams by as much as 60% during rush hour. That means flying scooters could make cities much less crowded and save people a lot of time. But with all these changes, cities have to face big problems too. They have to think about their infrastructure, the roads, buildings, and systems that help a city run. Right now, cities are built for cars and buses, not flying vehicles. So to make flying scooters work, cities will need to build new things like landing pads, called vertiports, special flying lanes, and charging stations for the air. Without these, flying vehicles like the Cyberfold won't be able to work smoothly in daily life. Building this new infrastructure will cost a lot of money. Cities may have to take money from other projects to pay for it. They'll also need to change zoning laws, the rules about where things can be built. On top of that, cities might lose money from things like parking fees or bus fares if more people start flying instead of using regular transport. That means they'll have to find new ways to make money, maybe by charging taxes on flying vehicles. Air traffic will also become more complex. Cities will need systems to keep flying vehicles safe and separate from each other. They'll need new air traffic control tools, radar systems, and communication devices. These systems will help stop crashes and keep everything moving safely. For this to work, tech companies, city planners, and governments will have to work together. It won't be easy, and there may be arguments from people who are worried about noise or accidents. Lawmakers will have to listen to the public while still allowing new technology to grow. This is more than just a technical problem. It's a cultural change too. People are used to cars and buses, not flying machines. Some cities, like Dubai, are already making big investments in flying technology. Dubai has a plan to make 25% of its transportation autonomous, self-driving or self-flying, by the year 2030. Cities like this can serve as models for others. They show how flying transport could help fix big problems like traffic and pollution. As cities grow and get more crowded, the demand for flying vehicles will only increase. People will want new ways to move around. But big changes like this don't just happen because of new machines. They need new ways of thinking, new laws, and new ideas about how we live and move in cities. Flying scooters could play a big part in the future of transportation, but only if cities are ready for them. The Cyberfold scooter is just the beginning. Many other companies are working on personal air vehicles, PAVs, as part of a movement called Urban Air Mobility, UAM. These vehicles could totally change how we think about getting around. For example, the Jetson 1 is a one-person flying machine with 8 motors. It can fly for up to 20 minutes and costs around $98,000. Even though it's expensive, it shows how close we are to making personal flight real. In Japan, a company called Kawasaki is building the K-Racer X1. This vehicle isn't for people. It's made to carry heavy things like supplies or help in emergencies. It can carry up to 200 kilograms and travel 100 kilometers. It's powered by a strong engine that's similar to what you'd find in a racing motorcycle. This shows that flying vehicles can do more than just help people get to work. They can also be used in delivery, search and rescue, and other important jobs. Together, these vehicles are showing us a new way forward. They mix electric power, lightweight materials, and strong batteries to make flying possible for regular people. The more we develop these technologies, the closer we get to a world where flying scooters are normal. They could even become more common than cars in some places. Instead of improving old systems, we might be building something totally new. Even though there's a lot of excitement about the Cyberfold, we should remember that it hasn't been released yet. We don't have official information from BYD, the company behind it. We don't know the full details, and we don't know when, or if, it will be available to buy. Sometimes, people get very excited about new tech before it's real. That's what is happening here. People are curious and hopeful, but we still have to wait for facts. The idea of having a flying scooter that you can fold up and take with you is exciting. It could help people escape traffic and make traveling easier and more fun. But companies still have a lot of work to do. They have to solve problems with rules, infrastructure, and safety. Other flying vehicles like the Jetson 1 and K-Racer X1 are already being tested and developed. Maybe the Cyberfold will join them soon. But maybe it won't get past the prototype stage. Only time will tell. It's fun to imagine a future where you can fly above traffic on your way to work. It's fun to dream about weekend adventures in a scooter that takes to the sky. But we also have to be realistic. These dreams will only come true if we can solve the big challenges. That includes changing laws, building new landing zones, and making sure people are safe in the air. If we can do all that, then flying scooters might really become part of our daily lives one day. Thanks for joining us as we looked into the exciting future of travel. If you liked this story, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more updates. Got questions or ideas? Leave them in the comments below. We'd love to hear what you think. And check out our next video to keep exploring what's coming next in transportation.